The Communist Manifesto is a political pamphlet written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, published in 1848. It outlines the core tenets of Marxism and provides a critique of capitalism. Here's a summary. Historical materialism. Marx and Engels argue that throughout history, societies have progressed through class struggle. They propose that the history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Bourgeoisie and proletariat. The authors describe the modern era as one characterized by the conflict between two primary classes, the bourgeoisie, the capitalist class, and the proletariat, the working class. They argue that the bourgeoisie exploits the proletariat by extracting surplus value from their labor. Capitalism and exploitation. Marx and Engels critique capitalism, asserting that it leads to the concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few capitalists, while the majority of people suffer from exploitation and alienation. Communist revolution. They predict that capitalism will inevitably lead to its own downfall, as the working class becomes increasingly aware of its exploitation. This realization will culminate in a proletarian revolution, leading to the overthrow of the bourgeoisie and the establishment of a classless society. The role of communists. Marx and Engels call upon communists to organize and unite the working class, advocating for the abolition of private property, the centralization of the means of production, and the establishment of a dictatorship of the proletariat as a transitional stage towards a stateless, classless society. Overall, the Communist Manifesto serves as a call to action for workers to unite and overthrow the capitalist system, advocating for a socialist society based on common ownership of the means of production and the abolition of class distinctions. User. What are the key arguments made in the Communist Manifesto? The Communist Manifesto presents several key arguments regarding the structure of society, the dynamics of history, and the inevitable evolution of capitalism. Historical materialism. Marx and Engels argue that the history of human societies can be understood through the lens of class struggle. They contend that economic conditions, particularly the mode of production and ownership of the means of production, shape social relations and drive historical change. Class conflict. The manifesto identifies the primary antagonistic relationship in capitalist society as that between the bourgeoisie, the capitalist class, and the proletariat, the working class. It describes how the bourgeoisie exploits the proletariat by extracting surplus value from their labor, leading to the alienation and impoverishment of the working class. Capitalism's contradictions. Marx and Engels highlight the inherent contradictions within capitalism, including the tendency towards overproduction, economic crises, and the concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few capitalists. They argue that these contradictions ultimately lead to the system's downfall. The inevitability of revolution. The authors predict that as capitalism develops, the proletariat will become increasingly aware of its exploitation and oppression. This awareness will lead to a revolutionary consciousness among the working class, culminating in the overthrow of the bourgeoisie and the establishment of a socialist society. The role of communists. Marx and Engels call upon communists to organize and lead the proletarian revolution. They argue that communists represent the most advanced and conscious section of the working class, and it is their role to unite workers, provide political education, and overthrow the capitalist system. The vision of communism. The manifesto outlines the goals of communism, including the abolition of private property, the centralization of the means of production, and the establishment of a classless society, where wealth and resources are shared collectively. It envisions a society where individuals are no longer alienated from their labor and have control over their own destinies. Overall, the Communist Manifesto provides a critique of capitalism and presents communism as the inevitable outcome of historical development, arguing for the revolutionary overthrow of the capitalist system and the establishment of a socialist society based on equality and collective ownership.